Might help to actually turn the mic on. Welcome everybody to the Late Night Build Show. I'm your host, Benestrino. I will be building a gaming PC late tonight under the stars here in Michigan. The brisk cold weather. It's actually not too bad right now. The weather is holding out, actually. It hasn't been like cold to the point where you feel like you're dying when you walk outside yet. Really hasn't gotten to that point yet. So, I'm thankful for that. But tonight we're building a PC. This is actually an order that came in last week. And just with the craze over the holiday and the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday, I'm finally getting to this build. So, this is a customer that actually purchased this exact build like a couple weeks ago, and we did it on stream. So, we're pretty much doing the same build all over again because he wanted another one. So, Mike, this is going to be for you. I'm sorry about the delay getting here. The holiday sucked. Sucked all of my time out of my body. All my energy and time. So, here we are, building, finally. So I should have this ready to go this weekend, as well as a few other builds that I have to get done this weekend as well. So this weekend is going to be build, 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 build. Lots of builds. I'm going to try to stream as many as I can. But there probably are going to be a couple that I'm not going to get to stream just because of the time frames. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and run through the loadout, see what kind of build we're doing tonight. So, start off, we're starting with the Intel Core i9-12900K. It's got 16 cores, 24 threads, and a maximum boost of 5.2 gigahertz. Just got to get that motherboard and RAM only because they were bundled with my CPU. I plan on getting rid of them for other items I want. Awesome. So you're talking about this bundle right here? The Micro Center bundle? So this is the i9-12900K bundle at Micro Center with the Asus Z790 and the 32 gigs of RAM. It's the best deal you can get for this motherboard CPU RAM combination. There's nobody else that can sell it better for you, or you can't get a better price. 14th gen though, yeah, that one's I think $450 or $449 right now. Not a bad price. It's definitely a lot cheaper than buying the CPU and the RAM and the motherboard separate, because the CPU alone is almost the same price as the motherboard and CPU motherboard CPU RAM combo. It's almost the same price. It's kind of stupid. It's like, I don't know what Micro Center's doing, but you basically get a free motherboard and pay for a little bit of the RAM. It is how you can look at it. You basically get a free motherboard out of the package, which is insane to me. I mean, it's a marketing scheme on Micro Center's end, because they want you to come in, because they do make it so that you have to come to the store to buy it. You cannot buy it online and then have it shipped to you through Micro Center. Can't do that. So you have to go into the store. So the whole idea is, this is a really attractive buy. I'm going to drive to the store and I may as well buy the rest of the computer there. And that's where they get you, is the rest of the I mean, most of their components are pretty well priced. I can't really complain too much. Their cases are really good prices. But the motherboard CPU RAM combos, those are just outstanding. Exactly. Figure if I sell those, I'll end up paying around $250 in the end. Yeah, probably. I mean, you could probably get 100 easily, quickly, probably $100. But just keep in mind, on the used market, like Facebook Marketplace, locally, you and everybody else is doing the same thing. So if you look online, you'll probably find, for example, this board listed a lot for under MSRP, and that's probably because people buy these bundles and flip. And Micro Center is actually cracking down on that, because the idea is to get buying customers in to buy other things with the combo, not for a reseller to just come in and buy. I mean, because they're actually losing money at that point. So, and that's why they limit it to one per house, and that's why they also they're pretty strict on those rules too. So, I mean, it's a great buy if you are looking for a new motherboard, CPU, and RAM combo. Even if you're not, I would recommend, if you're just looking for a CPU, just buy this bundle, and just like Dad Bods is gonna do, sell the rest of it that you don't need, and you pretty much paid for your CPU. It's just a really good deal. But if you're building a new PC, definitely check out Micro Center's pricing on the motherboard, CPU, RAM combos. Great deals. Exactly. Figure if I sell those, yeah, I'm all, yeah. And eBay. Facebook is a dumpster for selling. Yeah, Facebook, you just get a lot of people that come up and say, hey, do you want to trade for a dirt bike? Or is this available? And then you hear crickets for like 6 days, and then after you sell it, then they come back, oh, I would have given you $100 more. Oh, okay. It's gone, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Facebook Marketplace. It's a really hard place to sell. Really hard to keep your mentality there and intact. Like, you get road rage when you're selling on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. Do you get that? Do you get road rage when you're selling on Facebook Marketplace? Like, that's what happens to me when I'm selling on Facebook Marketplace. Just that rage. Anyway, all right, so i9-12900K. We've got the contact frame from Thermalright, which I recommend for you, Dad Bods. $8.99 on Amazon right now. This contact frame is well worth it. And then the Deepcool LT720 liquid AIO cooler. So this is just the LT720. It's got the black fans, 120mm PWM. There is addressable RGB on the block, but this is more than enough cooler to cool this CPU, and he's not really there looking for the aesthetics, so this is a great fit. And we got it on sale too, so it's a great deal. The first PC he bought, I think, was like $200 more than the second one, because we got so many good deals on the parts, and I was able to requote it and say, hey, we can save you some money because we got a better price on literally everything. So we got a better deal. So awesome. A win for us and a win for him. Anyway, so we're cooling it with the Deepcool LT720, and then we have the Asus Z790V Prime Wi-Fi motherboard. I mean, it's really just a high-end workstation is kind of what this is. So we don't really need a ton of motherboard here, other than for the basics of which is storage and RAM and just handling that. And then he needs the graphics power from the GPU. So for real though, you can have it listed as free, and they ask how much it. Well, I mean, in fairness, that's because you know, people ask if it's, you know, how much it is when you have it listed for free, because a lot of people will list things with no price tag, and then, you know, you'll be like, hey, I want to find out what the cost is, or everybody just doesn't believe that it's free. It's just unreal for them at that point. So I actually have seen that quite a bit. We should probably start a YouTube series where we give stuff away and just record the responses and the conversations. It would probably be a good source of entertainment for like an hour at least. It would keep somebody's attention span. I'd get a kick out of that kind of stuff, you know? Like Mr. Beast crap, but I guess more real. More IR in real life, IRL. But all right, continuing, the Z790 motherboard, and then we've got 32 gigs of DDR5, 6,000 megahertz, two 16 gigs sticks. It's CL36 dual channel. It's the G.Skills Ripjaws S5 series. So 36. I mean, we're not doing any significant like overclocking on this. If we were, then I would have recommended maybe we get down to like 30, and it would have increased the price by like, I don't know, $40 or $50. It's not by much. I probably could have gotten faster RAM, but this is the RAM we use in the other system. And honestly, he doesn't need faster RAM. This stuff is more than enough for what he's going to be doing with it. So we're happy with that. Then we got a 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe PCIe 4.0. This is by Inland, and this is their Performance Plus. So if you've never heard of them, this is actually a Micro Center brand. Great chip. I think it's got the Performance Plus. I think has like 7,000 megabits per second read-write. Pretty good. And then we're going to be using a 4070 Ti for the graphics card and an MSI MPG 850 watt power supply, which has the ATX 3.0 and PCI 5.0 ready. So this will be able to plug in with the PCIe 5 cable directly into the graphics card, which is what we want for a 4070 Ti, because the 4070 Ti has the 16-pin 600 watt connection, though it's not drawing 600 watts, but it's there. So simplifies it. All right, so I'm going to move some of this out of the way, and we'll start with the build. We just had a box avalanche in the background. All right. Hey, Kyle, thanks for the like over there on Facebook. Appreciate you, sir. We're going to get started with the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, and hopefully I don't stay up all night trying to do this build, because I'm not interested in staying up late again. But I want to get this done so I can go get in bed. This one shouldn't take very long, honestly. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to it, meaning we don't have any like custom fancy cables that we're putting in the build, or we're not doing anything crazy with the fans or anything like that, so it's pretty basic. Pretty basic when it comes to assembling. It's all the basic stuff. So time-wise, there's not going to be a whole ton of time here. Hopefully, right? I think the last one I did for him was about an hour and a half. And it was the exact PC. There we go. And now time for the LGA 1700 contact frame by Thermalright. Thermalright. That's one brand that I would love to see Micro Center carry. Thermalright. All right, so we're just getting these screws here for the contact frame. in their respected locations. All right. We could take this camera outside and probably take a look at the moon pretty well. This thing's got a zoom on it. All right. Snugged up and ready to go. Now we'll move on to the RAM and the SSD. And there we have it. The RAM, the CPU, and the SSD are installed. Now we're pretty much ready for the mounting brackets for the CPU cooler. We're going to open up the cooler and get the hardware out for the AIO. But I like to put those on there before we put the motherboard in the case, just to have that done. Saves time. Ready to go. All right. All right, so we have our mounting hardware ready, prepped for the block. All we have to do now is get this into the case. That'll be our next step. Let me zoom out. Ow. Every time. This is the Lian Li Landcool 216, if you didn't recognize it, and it is the RGB version. Which means it has two 160 millimeter addressable RGB fans on the front. And then it has a 140 millimeter black PWM fan on the rear. And then it's just mesh everywhere except for the glass side panel and the rear, the back side panel. The back side panel. We're going to do a couple of things probably out of order today. We're going to put the power supply in before we put the cooler in, only because it gets really tight up here in the corner with these EPS cables after we put the cooler in. So I just want to run those cables and just get the power supply in before I put the cooler in. Either that or you're going to sit there and watch me or make fun of me as I'm trying to squeeze my fingers into super tight small holes. All right, there we go. We got the motherboard mounted. Super clean. All right, let's put the power supply in real quick. Ugh. How does one open the box? This is a 850 watt, 80 plus gold PCIe 3, PCIe 5, and ATX 3.0 ready power supply. Fully modular. An absolutely fantastic power supply. I've used them several times. The only complaint I've ever had on this particular power supply is once I've had this very slim metal here on the grill for the fan rubbing up on the actual fan, which sucked. So I ended up having to actually bend it out a little bit. And I always check them now because it's a pain in the ass to go in there and do it after you put it in the case. These things like to get bent in packaging and compressed to the fan, so it's rubbing on the fan when it's spinning, so you get a little ticking sound, which is super stupid for the price you pay for these power supplies. That should not be a problem. And it's all because of cheap metal or cheap packaging. You could have gotten away with the cheap metal if you didn't have cheap packaging MSI. Even though the packaging isn't bad, actually is pretty good, but obviously it wasn't enough. If you get one of these MSI power supplies and you hear a ticking sound, just pry the metal away from the fan. It's not a bad power supply or a bad fan, it's just a fan rubbing up on the metal. Actually, we won't need that one. Won't need that one either. What is this? Ah, shit. Shoot me. There we are. Power supply slid in through the side door. Now we've got 4 screws to secure it. Here we are. Now, I don't get why this cable is extra short this go around. Kind of dumb. The HD audio cable is like super short right now, and I don't know why. Makes 0 sense. Always super long in this case. I think we just got a short end of the stick, so to speak. All right, we need to know where to send these. There. And I want to reroute this RGB cable to the top, because this cable will reach better. Yeah, reach better at the port that's up here at the top of the motherboard than it would be at the one on the bottom. Simply put, logistically, this is a much better route. All right, there we have it. We're ready for a AIO cooler. I'm going to take the top off the case here, and then we'll grab the radiator, get the fans on there. We want all the fan cables pointing towards me. That way they're going to the back of the PC and not the front. These are just black PWM fans. That'll be simple enough with just the PWM connection, which will go to the CPU fan header. And then we'll have a pump and an RGB connection for the block. The pump is going to go to the pump, which is at the top. And the RGB connection will go to the hub on the back. And that's a 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB connection. Come on, line up, would you? So 4 screws for each fan. If you don't put all the screws in, you may get a little bit of vibration. Even with the anti-vibration rubber on the corners of the fans that are already included, you can still get some vibration even with that. So it's best just to put all 4 screws in to eliminate that vibration possibility, or the possibility of a vibration. English is sometimes difficult. But I mean, it takes 2 seconds, so you may as well put the screws in. Do it right the first time. There's only some cases that I've done less than 2 screws, and that's if I had to share screws of a specific size. And didn't have the... I keep bumping my microphone, that's obnoxious. Didn't have the screws to do it, so I had to share. I've done that a couple times, but I had no choice. Alright, so this is going to be our fan splitter. I'm actually going to route this before we put the cooler in. Plug it into the CPU fan header here on the motherboard at the top. With one less thing to deal with once we get this cooler in there. And we are pretty much ready to mount this cooler in the case. Get it kind of in frame. And I'm going to just send all these cables to the back of the PC. As good as I can. With the... and we are ready to secure this cooler for the radiator. That last screw just took a hike. And where it went, I will not go. I refuse to go there. Not a place where I will go. Into the abyss. It looks black, but it looks metallic. Come on. That's closest we'll have. Like a metallic. It's gonna be covered up anyway. Find one. Hey Daniel, thank you for the like over there on Facebook. Carol, thank you for the like also. There we go. So we've got the radiator installed. I'm just gonna put the top of the PC back on. And then we could drop this and get this block installed onto the CPU. I always forget these are magnetic. The block has a little magnet on it. And it holds it, which is super cool and convenient. Ready for some paste. Hey, what's up, Momo? Momo bar. With a 16 gig RAM, 3060 Ti, i5, 10600K be enough for streaming? Yes, you could do it on that. CPU is a little bit light, but you could do some streaming on that. I would recommend trying to squeeze 32 gigs out of that, because you can get 32 gigs for like $55 on that platform. That's DDR4. You'd probably run DDR4 3200. You can get two 16 gig sticks. For example, Team Group has a kit for like $54 right now on Amazon, and that'll get you 32 gigs, and that'll help you tremendously with streaming. The i5 is a little light, it is, but it will get the job done, and that's something you can upgrade later if you want. What are you planning on streaming? That's a good question. Very good question. Because it will matter what type of resources are going to be used. And thanks for hanging out, guys. Ow. Ow. We are. Now time for like everybody's favorite part. It's the graphics card time. You build custom PCs for sale? I'm in the market to buy one? Yes, actually, if you check out our website, there, which is empowergamingpcs.com, empowergamingpcs.com, you can actually submit a custom PC build request there if you want us to write up a custom estimate for you, or if you want specific things done, like a custom paint job or glass etching, or if it's a custom open loop, etc., etc. So if there's something that you're looking for custom, you can go to the custom build request, or you can browse kind of our pre-built options that we have, which is going to be expanded probably in the next month or so. It was supposed to be done before the holiday season started, which would have been, you know, like a month ago, but we've just not had time to get that done. So if you see something and let's say you're not happy with the price, just hit me up and I will make it work. So I'm only human after all. What would you recommend for streaming and some video editing in mind? So kind of going back to what your question was, what are you planning on streaming? That's a very good question. So depends on like what games are you trying to stream? Are you using it as, because I know you said at the moment your current PC struggles to run PC games and OBS currently, so I stick to my graphics card and PS5 games to take the strain off. Okay. Video card. Yeah, no, you're fine. That's right. The one I built 6 years ago just isn't cutting it. Yeah, 6 years. So that's probably, if it was an Intel platform, it's probably like a i7 6700K, or it could be maybe a little bit better. or AMD side, maybe the first Ryzen. If you think about it, Ryzen has been out that long. It's like, what? Where did time go? I remember the days back when the FX was AMD's challenge to Intel's authority, and poor AMD was getting their ass kicked. I think it's kind of switched a little bit. But kind of going off your question, what would you run? So if you're just gaming casually and streaming, I would go, you can get away with like a 4060 Ti, but I would try to get to like 8 cores on the CPU, so like an i5 13600K that has, I think, like 16 cores, or not 16, but it's somewhere up there. It's a great processor, but you can also get an i7 for just a little bit more. So i7 13700K or 12700K, kind of in that ballpark. And then I would also go like a 4060 Ti in the graphics card. But definitely, if you're going to go with the 4060, make sure it's on a PCIe 16 slot, because they took a lot of bandwidth away on that card. And I would prefer to see it on Gen 4, PCIe Gen 4. Gosh, there's so much to this box. Zotac engineering around the boxes is insane. AMD Ryzen 5 1600 is what you have now. Yeah, it's been around for a while, man. It is stressed. Yeah, it's you know, for gaming it's just fine, but when you're trying to do things like streaming, there's just not enough horsepower on that thing anymore. The multitasking is where it struggles now. But if you're just, you know, straight up gaming, it's fine. Still a great chip. But yeah, if you can get to like an Intel i5, or if you're gonna go AMD family, stay in the AMD family, you can go to like a Ryzen 7 5700X. It's a great card. 32 gigs, 2070 Super. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only thing that's holding you back with your stream is probably just the CPU. The graphics card's probably fine. Though you could get a little more horsepower. But if you have 2070 Super, it's not worth upgrading to like a 4060. It'd be better going to like a 4070. This thing's so cool. Such a cool card. By Zotac. This is an RTX 4070 Ti, and this is their whatchamacallit, not the Trinity Force, the Trinity. This one's the it's the Amp Arrow, the Arrow, like Indian Arrow. Is this really 3 slots? Are you kidding me? I thought there was only 2. My bad. Oh my gosh, it's like I've never put a graphics card in the case before. There we go. Finally, the card is installed. You have an A350 motherboard? Yeah, that's definitely aged. Still, and this is why I love AMD, still in the runnings, meaning you can still find supported hardware for it. AMD did that right, where they made a AIM-4 platform stretch that far. But yeah, the 350 or the B350 is probably aged now to the point where it's not going to do you much good upgrading, because you lack PCIe Gen 4, you lack a bunch of things. But I mean, you could still upgrade to like a Ryzen 7 on that board with a BIOS update, or most B350s you could do that. When I say Ryzen 7, I'm thinking like a 5700X, or you could go like to a Ryzen 7 2700X or something like that, and get those 8 cores and not have to worry about, you know, upgrading the motherboard as well. That would be probably your cheapest option, is going and finding like a used Ryzen 7 2700X, plugging that in, and that'll just give you an immediate boost of performance on that system. It's not going to be like substantially crazy, but it's going to give you the cores that you need for streaming. It'll help, but it's not going to be anything crazy. So don't expect like super night and day difference, but expect a little bit better performance. You know, something like that. So if you're in a pinch with money, money's tight, the economy sucks right now, then, you know, going and finding, there's no shame in just going and throwing a 2700X in there. It'll get it by. Right? I'm at the point where I'd just upgrade. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to buy anything for that system, it's going to be a new motherboard, unless you're like on a tight budget. You know, for example, if you're going to upgrade a major component in the system, it's going to be a CPU, motherboard, and RAM. And I'd go, you know, if you wanted to go in the Intel family, try the i5 13600K, or the i7 13700K, or the 14700K. 13700K and the 14700K, or the 14 series and 13 series, they're pretty much the same CPU, just a different sticker. There's not much difference there. Not willing to spend the extra cash either. So, yeah, no, I hear you. Everything's still freaking expensive right now. It hurts the business over here, because everything's so expensive. So it's starting to look like a gaming PC, I'd say. Right? Yeah? Yeah? Don't worry, we have a bracket for the card, so there's not going to be any sag. We just got to get this thing flipped around. We can do some cable management. Hey. Not fighting me. Camera wants to fight me. Oh yeah, we gotta get all these plugged in. There are CPU radiator fans up here. have our addressable RGB connection for our block on our CPU, which we're gonna Plug in up here at the hub. Link back to the motherboard. Reroute. SP side, back side of the case here. Nice and neat. So, drop these extra cables down here. Back to SATA connection. Take the cables up here at the top. And we're good to go. Nice. Are you selling this beast for $1? No. No, this one is actually for a customer, so we're building it out already for a customer who's paid for it. Yo, one of my people said they hit you up. Yes, they did, sir. I sent over an estimate. Grizz, I sent them over an estimate and haven't heard back. So we're in the chase program. Oh, bro, sorry. No worries, no worries, no worries. Yeah, the $1 PC sale is basically anybody that is donating to the stream or, you know, subscribing. Any money that's pulled in from the stream goes to the $1 PC, and once we hit a certain amount, then we will buy all the parts and do a $1 PC giveaway to all our subscribers. Cool, huh? So if you fill up that bar, we get a PC. See here, I missed some. Yeah, he said he's probably ordering it this weekend. Nice! Awesome. Right, I'm at the point where you're just going to upgrade everything. Yeah, no, we already read that. What do you think about the 70-year UAP reverse engineering program the government has been running? I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that here. I'm a great builder, so you're going to tell me a joke. Hit me. I'm actually the best in the state of Michigan, and I'm still waiting for somebody to challenge me on that. If he buys it, just take whatever I get from it and put it towards my PC. Got it. We could do that. We could do that, Grizz. We could do that. What a boob tells to other boob, you are my best friend. Breast friend. Very good. Very good. So I actually tell that to my breast friend, who's literally my best friend. I call him a boob all the time. So there's got to be something there. You're onto something. All right, so we're gonna put this back panel on. We're gonna flip this around, check the cables. Then we're gonna get this thing fired up for the very first time. Oh, it's the first time this thing is ever powered on. We're excited to see this thing run. And see if I built it right the first time. Last couple times. Oh. Let me get some of this crap out of the way. Throw screwdrivers around, because why not? Oh, and then we got this bracket. Nifty little bracket. This is a support bracket for the graphics card. I might put it on the back side because it's going to block the RGB there. We really don't want that, if we can avoid it. Oh, and this is the RGB sync cable, which we might run. Or we could just run the Zotac Firestorm. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get it plugged in and fired up. Or you guys want a different view? Yeah, let's look at a different, let's have a different view. That wasn't gonna do anything. Oh my gosh, we can see it. All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Definitely don't put that by the fan. We'll have to put that on the backside or figure something else out. It ain't perfect. Hey. What? Is that the capture card trying to show? Yeah, get out of here. Ooh! It's pretty! Look at that thing. That card has some really cool RGB on it. Kind of looks like a spaceship, but it's not. Yes. And we have a post, so that's a good sign. That means we've successfully built the computer. Those fans look like an AC. Oh yeah, they move. Evening. Hey, Army Vet, what's going on? How's it going over there? Or up there, should I say? It looks like an, oh yeah, it looks like an engine in there. Yes. It's got, this baby's got some horsepower. Got some high torque. You leave your drawers back at the starting line. Not bad. Northern lights are out. I know. My wife keeps telling me we have to drive north to go find these dang things. And every time she tries to talk me into it, it's like super cloudy and it's not worth it. So it's like, it's like, we're driving to go see those things. I'm not gonna die not seeing them. Literally, we go up north. The northern lights come out while she's sleeping. And the night she stays up all night, nothing. It's hilarious watching her try to capture the northern lights. 10:56 p.m. Not bad. Yeah, it's 10:57 over here. Over on the YouTubes, yes, sir. So it was about, what was it? We started around like 9:30-ish. About an hour and a half. I was about right. I said it was going to be about an hour and a half build. And it's built. It's posted. We're actually in the Windows setup screen now. So just going to start the Windows installation. Tomorrow we've got more builds to do. So I don't know what you guys are doing tomorrow. But I've got, you know, I've got builds. So, one is actually for a birthday that actually was happening today. Yeah, today, Friday. So their birthday was today, and this build was for their birthday. The order didn't come in until like late Saturday, and it's a 6 to 8 day turnaround time right now. So they knew when they ordered it, it was going to be up to 8 days to get this thing out. Ryzen 7 build? This is a tomorrow? Yes, it's at, well, it's not a Ryzen 7, but it's a Ryzen 5 build tomorrow. This one here is an Intel i9-12900K. Right? 12.9? Yes, 12900K. And then that's a 4070 Ti, 2TB M.2, 32 gigs DDR5, 6000 megahertz G-Skill Ripjaw S5 RAM on an Asus Z790 motherboard. And this is a Lian Li Landcool 216 case, which includes the two front fans and the rear 140 millimeter fan. So the two 160 millimeters and one 140 millimeter is included with this case. There's two different versions of the case. You can buy it with the RGB fans or without. The one without is obviously a little cheaper. And then the cooler we're running is a Deepcool LT720, which is a 360 millimeter AIO with three 120 millimeter fans. And then we've got an 850 watt 80 plus gold power supply in there by MSI. If they buy this PC, they doesn't have money to buy. No, this PC is actually for a customer who already built this exact PC from me already, or had me build this PC before, like 2 weeks ago. And then he wanted another exact PC, and it's going in an office, I believe, for office work. But they needed the graphics card specifically for something graphically intensive, and he wanted the 4070 Ti. So this is what we got. But he needs the CPU horsepower and the RAM, and then tons of storage. Beautiful PC, balanced performance. It's not going to be used for gaming, unfortunately, but I don't know. Maybe they'll pull up Call of Duty after hours. They could. But the other one, the birthday build, that's going to be tomorrow, and that's going to be an AMD office work. Yeah, I wish I had that kind of office work. I'm going into the office, honey. 12 hours later. All right, Bob, I'll see you tomorrow. Some people have that life, streaming. But I think you'd get tired of the game after streaming that many hours playing those games. It would ruin gaming for me. You built me a 4070 Ti build a couple months back. Battle Cruiser. Oh, nice. And my rig eats programs for breakfast and lunch and dinner. Could not be happier. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks for jumping in and saying that, man. I'm glad to hear that one of our builds is out there empowering you so you're not waiting for technology. See what I did there with the word empower? It's the whole idea anyway behind the concept. So it warms my heart to hear that. How much RAM is inside? This one has 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 megahertz CL36, two 16 gig sticks, so total of 32. RD2 on ultra settings is unreal. I can't even do that on my 3070 Ti right now because I switched to a 1440p panel, a 32-inch 1440p, and now my 3070 Ti struggles on stuff on my PC. But I don't game that much, you know. I'm very casual, so nowadays anyway, because I'm just so busy. But when I do, I like to enjoy it. So I think I'm gonna have to get an upgrade because I'm just not happy with the 3070 Ti not being able to do, you know, 180 FPS on 1440p. I'm asking a lot out of it though. So, but I mean, it's done a great job the last like 2 years I've had it. It's a great card. 3070 Ti. 4070 Ti is just, it's like double the 3070 Ti. Not quite, but you know what I mean. It's basically a 3090 Ti is what you're running, just half the VRAM. The owner will make it sleep part. Yeah, probably. Do you sleep with your PC? Sometimes. Sometimes I tuck it in bed. All right, guys, I am done with this build. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. We are going to be building more PCs this weekend, so keep an eye out if you haven't already. Follow and then turn on the notifications if you want to see when we go live. We're going to be building quite a few builds going forward leading up to Christmas. It actually gets super crazy insane, and I can tell you right now, with all the parts that we have coming in, it's going to get even more crazy. Yes, I slept many times, by the way. Nice. So we're going to have tons of PC builds to do, so if you like this kind of stuff and you like hanging out, chatting, come on by. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for joining the chat. Happy building. And happy Friday night. We'll see you guys. Bye.